Things are heating up for you a lot in this last week. Are you noticing anything? Like, is there a shift in confidence or anything you can kind of point to explain it?
Uh, Really just playing football, playing the game I love, and just taking the meeting room to the field.
Sideline catch there out of bounds and caught that in the end zone. How do you feel about that? Could you walk us through the whole system of it happening there in your mind?
You talking about today? Working a little out route into the boundary, one-on-one. Kind of once I broke, I just hoped the ball was gonna be on the way. Who threw that? Was it Five? Yeah. So Five laid a good one out there, and just came down with it. Felt like everything came together right there.
And I was going to be indeed, as you just said. How much of this process is gaining the trust of quarterbacks and obviously the coaches too, but just doing what you're doing consistently? How does that help you gain trust of the quarterback?
You just go out there and just try to execute the best of your ability every chance you get. I feel like I have a lot of ability, so I try to put it on full display every day, every snap. And, we just, once it comes together, you kind of just hope day by day that, you're able to look back at the day and say, did I do everything I could have done today? And was I at my best? And, everything else kind of works from there. But
how does your two camp compare to your one camp? Do you feel more comfortable?
Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing. I feel more poised. Last year it just felt like I was ripping and running from the start of camp to the end of the year. But I got the ability to get my first off season under my belt. Got a lot of time to, first of all, relax and work at the same time. And now we in year 2 now, and I just feel more comfortable, whether it's in the meeting rooms, walk through. I'm not focused on what the play is, what do I have to do. I'm focused on how I'm doing it and why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I feel like that's just kind of year 2 things.
AD, what was your biggest focus in the offseason? Your biggest asset that you wanted to improve, or your physical gifts, or whatever? What do you want to work on this offseason?
Number one, staying open. I feel like that I do that very well, and sometimes when you have a power, you want to keep refining it, not just be a jack of all trades, and really just catching. Get open, catch the ball. Of course, workouts, you're going to get bigger, you're going to get stronger, you're going to get faster. So staying open and catching the rock, I feel like that's always going to be the main focus.
How did you kind of refocus after the first week of camp? Because I know you would like to have some of those drops back, sure, but you didn't seem fazed by it because now you've been on a roll here. How did you kind of refocus after that?
Honestly, it was just, I don't know, it felt like something was in the air or something. But, I knew it'll eventually come together. Like, I know my hands work, I know my routes work. It was all just a matter of time. I guess just a couple days slump, I guess.
How does Reggie treat you?
How does Reggie treat me?
Tough
Man,
love or what?
definitely he definitely loved the tough love, but he's very encouraging. I will say that. He definitely helped me a lot from last year, and kind of I felt like he'd been there every step of the way through, from when I first got here to where I am now, year 2, second training camp. I feel like he's been the biggest voice in my ear in this building, so I definitely am grateful for him.
So when there was something in the air last week, was he on you more, or how did he kind of help you get through?
Nah, kind of. He was just, he would say every day after practice, like, I'm not worried about y'all. Like, I know we can catch. We just gotta make the plays when it comes. And we making the plays when they coming now. So just keep doing it.
Hey, you mentioned needing like a mental just break from last season.
Yeah.
What did that look like for you? And I guess how did you mentally prepare for the season? You know, I guess kind of what to expect the second time around.
First I just, relaxed, spent a lot of time with the fam, spent a lot of time with my daughter. And then kind of once it came down to work, I knew I belonged. Like, I knew if somebody leave me one-on-one on the island, like somebody gonna regret it, and it ain't gonna be me. So, kind of just refining my game, knowing where to be. I feel like the main thing was probably building chemistry with quarterbacks. I feel like I run routes a little differently, changing tempos, changing speeds a lot. So, probably getting right with the quarterbacks was probably the biggest thing, to go back a couple questions. Yeah. But I definitely knew I belonged.
Last question. What do you need to accomplish in your second year to look back on it as a success?
Just take it day by day, man. I'm not even looking at kind of the season or the preseason. I can't even see past these meetings that we're going to have at 2, to be real with you. So just taking everything day by day, step by step, and just keep marching forward.
But on a more serious note, how has camp been for you so far, adjusting to obviously the heat and the reps against pros?
100%. No, it's been great. I think the biggest thing Coach been talking about is just competing, and that's something that I've been looking to do, whether it's ones, twos. You're getting some reps at guard too, which has been awesome for me, just to, I think, learn the game, but also help slow it down as well.
When you're battling
Are you more comfortable on the right or left?
I think both. I've been splitting reps this camp at both right and left, and I think it's just making me more comfortable at either side, making sure that, when needed, I can step in and play the right role.
Some guys say that when you have to switch sides, it's really difficult. Do you think maybe the basketball stuff kind of helps you switch leg you're kicking back and stuff like that?
Oh, no doubt. And I always like to tell people, it's like, you don't have a post player that can only post up on one side of the block. You have to be able to do 2, and having that in my background has only helped for sure.
With you and Blake kind of swapping every day, how much do you guys get to just swap notes about, like, this is what I'm seeing versus this guy and all that? How much do you get to collaborate?
Oh, a lot. It's very fluid out there, and, Blake and I are in constant comms in terms of, man, this is what the defense called when they ran this stunt. This is what we saw with safety rotation or the nickel off the line of scrimmage, just to help each other out, especially because we're moving sides back and forth every day, just to help that transition a lot smoother.
Jalen, which defensive players pushed you the most in camp?
Man, it's been awesome because we have some really talented edges here. I think everyone from Quiddy out the edge to Samson, obviously to JT. All very different style players who have a different bag of moves. I think which has forced me to get better each and every day and kind of do my own self-scout. Like, man, on Thursday you struggled against this. Let's walk into Saturday working on that and making sure that once we get Quiddy back up to the line, I'm able to stop that move.
What's it been like playing for Coach Milano? And I guess what's the balance between him being hard on you guys, but also give you a little bit of love?
Yeah, no, I love Coach, and I think that he's very demanding of our room, and rightfully so, because I think we have one of the hardest positions on the field, and we have to play 5 as 1, and that's something that he preaches every single day. And I think that he's obviously one of our biggest critics, but also our biggest supporter, and that's something I think that we feel as a room, and why we're able to go out there and have success.
What's been the biggest adjustment for you just coming into the NFL offense?
Yeah, we were just laughing about it. Whereas, your time away from football is vital, just as vital as your time on the field. And it's like, how do you get your body back to 100%? How do you trust your process to make sure that you're coming in, making sure that you don't have any mental errors or mistakes come practice? So that's been something that I've been working to fine tune, especially over the last 2 weeks.
A bit of a weird question, but when you're in college, you're all around the same age. What is it like to join a team where I don't know if the interests are the same for football, but some people have, families and kids and whatever else. So what's that adjustment been like?
No, I think it's been fascinating. I think just to see where it's like we were sitting at a family dinner in the spring during OTAs, and guys are bringing in their 2 and 3 kids and wives and stuff, and the rookies are sitting around, and we just have each other right now. And it was like, okay, like this is, you're a small fish in a big pond now, and it's like, how do you continue to grow and mature in this space, knowing that you are competing with people who've been in the league for 10+ years.
How valuable has it been to learn from some of those guys already on the roster, Bernard and Braden and some of those guys?
Oh, it's been awesome. I mean, especially with guys who've been in the league, found success, who are on their second contracts now, and even guys like Quentin Nelson, who are, one, continuing to bring us along as rookies and show us the ropes, and making sure that, mistakes do come, but how to respond to those are most important.
One more.
Tanner and Matt were in your shoes last year, rookies, they weren't starting, but now they're battling for starting spots. How have you been able to view them as an example for where you might be, later this year or even next year? How have you been able to use them as kind of a guide?
Yeah, no, it's been cool to see, I think, their journeys and how they've been able to, one, step into positions last year, to contribute in meaningful ways to the team. And, if you look at their growth journeys, it's been, not always steady up, but they've always found a way to continue to get better. And that's something that I'm looking to do through this training camp and through, obviously this season is, I'm not going to have my best day every day, but how can I continue to get better each and every day to make sure I can contribute to this team when needed.
Hey, Hunter, you've been kind of a jack of all trades so far. They say, some dime linebacker, safety. You've been out there with plenty of special teams. What's that been like? Do you prefer to kind of try and master one thing, or do you like being thrown into so many different things?
I enjoy being thrown into a lot of different things just because, one, it forced me to learn a lot and to grow more. But two, it just gives me more, opportunity to see the field. And that's kind of the goal, is just get on the field however it is possible. If it's special teams or defense, whatever I can do to get on the field on a Sunday and help the team out, that's what I'm going to do.
Hunter, you had a bit of a reputation as a bad guy. I think that's just aggressive. Okay. Right? Sorry, did not mean it like that. How do you keep that edge now as a rookie in the NFL?
I think just kind of not changing, being kind of who you are, staying the same on the field, and just trying to prove yourself every single day. You have to have that edge if you're going to play football, and you have to have a little bit of mean and nastiness. So just trying to prove that every day and show that every day. It's kind of one of the big goals, and that in turn hopefully will help me see the field.
What's been your impression of Lou Anarumo so far?
The what?
What's been your impression of Lou Anarumo so far?
He's awesome. He's a great DC, super smart. He's a bit tough. He's definitely got on me a couple times, but I enjoy being coached hard. He gets on his guys, which is good. He holds us to a high standard. Forces us to be at our best all the time, and that's what you want out of a good coach.
Do you kind of live for those live periods when you could cut loose?
Yeah, I mean it's football. It's you could do all this tagging off and all that stuff, but once you can finally hit and go live, that's what it's like on Sundays. So yeah, no, I love those periods.
Have you been told maybe you got to pull back a little bit every when it's not live?
No, which is a bad thing. I gotta, I think I gotta be a little more aggressive, a little more competitive. When it's not live, to be told to pull back. I'd rather be told to kind of reel it back in than to step it up. So I think personally, I got to be a little more aggressive, a little more physical when the time comes.
Lou Anarumo's scheme can be pretty complex. How have you adjusted to it as a rookie?
It's definitely a lot. I think camp compared to OTAs has been a lot easier just because we already kind of got that introduction to the game plan. But I love it. It forces me to be better, forces me to ask a lot of questions, and have my head in the playbook a little bit later at night. But I love it. I think good defense they are complex. They do have a lot going on, and I think that's only going to help us once we get into the season.